Hey friends, it's Betsy from A Flourishing Place, and today I am doing a review of the Sidetracked Home Executives index card cleaning routine after trying it for myself. Well, hey, if we haven't met before, like I said, my name is Betsy. I have a wonderful husband and 3 small kids, and I am constantly on a quest to find the perfect cleaning routine for our house as I am keeping our home and raising small kids and trying my best to keep things somewhat tidy, somewhat clean. Not perfection, but always making progress. Hey, future Betsy here while I am editing. I just wanted to say real quickly, I had a little bit of mic trouble while I was shooting this video, and so you will hear a little bit of soft thumping during the video. I am sorry for that, but I was really excited to share this content, so I hope you enjoy. And recently I have put to the test the Sidetracked Home Executives index card cleaning routine. Now, I have done a couple of other videos on this. I will link them down below, a breakdown of the system, and then the second video I did was kind of breaking down what is inside the index card box and kind of how I had set mine up. This video is where I'm actually going to review how it went, things that I loved. I really loved having a basic week plan, and this is something I've talked about in previous videos where you have specific days that are dedicated to specific things, and I loved this. I knew what was happening each day. I knew the things that I needed to get done, and it definitely made me feel like I kind of had a zoom out kind of overall control of what was going on during the week, how my week was gonna go. You know, of course you can't plan things out perfectly, but in general, I had a sense of what I was gonna be doing each day. Secondly, I loved index cards. This cleaning routine uses index cards, and if you are someone that loves analog, as I've mentioned in past videos, this is the routine for you. There is just a hard copy of everything, so you are working exclusively out of this box. There's nothing on your phone, there's no apps, there's no special programs. It's all handwritten index cards in a box, which is great. I loved this. I loved having each chore written out individually on a card, and then the satisfaction of moving that chore to the next day once it was completed was really, I mean, it's nerdy, but it was fun. I liked doing that. Obviously, it's very satisfying to check a box on a to-do list, but this I felt like kind of went a step further where you're working through your cards and you move them to the next day. Now, I will say when I first started the week, I kept forgetting to move the cards as I went because it's just something you have to get in the habit of doing. You have to get in the habit of setting up your box every month and then daily moving those cards forward to the next date where they go. So, and if you're brand new, if this is the first video that you're watching on Sidetracked Home Executives, again, I will link the other 2 below. You can go back and watch the complete breakdown. But I will say that I loved having a hard copy. I loved having the basic week plan, even doing the meal plan. So they encourage you with the Sidetracked Home Executive system, or they call it the SHE system for short, but they encourage you to do a menu plan where you kind of know in general the types of meals that you're gonna be having each night. If there's a night that it's really good to have leftovers, a night where you know you're gonna do a meatless dinner, or you know you're always gonna have breakfast for dinner on Saturday nights or Sunday nights or whatever. And I have to say that really does take the guesswork out of meal planning. Now, one thing that I was worried about with this is I'm a person who likes to do everything as it's prescribed and check all the boxes and all that. And so I'm like, oh, what if I change plans, or, you know, we do a different meal that night, or we have more leftovers than we were expecting. And you know, that just didn't end up being as much of an annoyance as I thought it would be. Yeah, we did not stick to this meal plan 100%. It looked different, but it gives you a springboard to jump from so that you're not just starting from absolute zero. Another thing I really liked was the cards being color coded. This really helped. The yellow for the daily chores, the pink for the personal care sort of, I don't want to call them chores, but personal care items. And then the blue for weekly items. I really enjoyed having that. And it just feels, I don't know, when you get it set up and you're actually working through it during the week, you do feel so organized. And if you know the background of the Sidetracked Home Executive sisters, the whole reason that they started this was because they felt incredibly disorganized. And so this is awesome. And many people who do this will say that it takes effort to set it up. And that's absolutely true. I found that to be the case. It takes effort to set it up. It takes effort to move things, make sure they're on the right date, you know, keep up. You can't just like set it for a week and forget it. You have to keep, you know, refreshing it each day. But I found it to be, once you kind of got in the groove, it really wasn't too bad. And honestly, I found it to be just very satisfying to have everything in this little box just perfectly organized, and I knew exactly where I was at, what I had to do. So that was good. Another thing I liked was I loved for our family, and for me, the way I chose to set it up, having the cleaning confined to one day. Now, it's technically, for the way I put it for our family, I have a heavy cleaning day on Wednesday and then like a lighter cleaning day on Thursday, like if there's stuff I didn't get done on Wednesday. And so this was a pro and a con. The pro was I loved having cleaning one day a week and then not messing with it the rest of the week. I have been used to a system. I've been doing the Clean Mama cleaning routine, which is awesome, highly recommend. But in that system, you do a chore each day. So you're cleaning a bathroom, or you're dusting, or you're vacuuming, you know, you're doing something like that every day. So a little bit of cleaning. But with this one, they encourage you to really put all your kind of heavy, they call it heavy cleaning, on one day, and then kind of have a second day to kind of finish what you didn't get to finish previously. I actually found that to be very freeing. The rest of the week, it was really nice to not have stuff to clean every day. Now, there's daily chores, like I mentioned, the yellow cards, daily chores. So with these ones, of course, I had things on there like sweeping the kitchen floor, loading the dishwasher, unloading the dishwasher, these sorts of things that, you know, keeping the laundry going, that was a big one. These sort of things that need to happen every day. So it's not like, oh, I only did laundry once a week, or oh, I, you know, only did the dishes once a week. Obviously not. That would be a nightmare. Basically, there was the daily things that you did every day to keep the house going, but those are fairly minimal. And then you have weekly chores, or every other week kinds of chores that you do once a week. And so I found that very freeing. That I had this one day where I knew that I was devoting a large portion of the day to cleaning the house, and you kind of get in that groove and you turn your music on and you get going. And so I found that to be very enjoyable, and then I could kind of kick back in the cleaning area the rest of the week. Okay, now for the cons. I kept forgetting to move the cards when the day was over, and you know, you're moving from one day to the next to the next. I kept forgetting to move the cards to the next day, but that honestly isn't so much of a con in terms of, it's something that I think as you get into the routine of it and you're doing it every week, you just will do it. It'll just become routine every night. You're kind of resetting things and you're getting set up for the next day, and you'll just remember to do it. So that as much wasn't a permanent con as much as a con of when you're getting started with it. Another con I had, and you might laugh because I just got through saying how much I enjoyed having cleaning just on one day, or kind of a day and a half, depending on if you're able to get it all done in that day. But one of the cons I found was there is a downside to having cleaning all on one day, and that is if something comes up that day, or you have an exceptionally busy day or something, you know, then your cleaning doesn't get done, and then it's like, okay, do you have to wait a whole nother week to do all that cleaning, or do you try to kind of fit it in the margins on the other days and kind of mess up your perfect schedule that you have on weeks that are as expected, and your schedule is as you expect, and you have that block of time set aside for cleaning? That's great, and you can get it done. But on weeks when you have stuff come up, or you have a big event, or one of your kids is, you know, throwing up all day or something, you know, how is that gonna look? And do you just kind of move it, or how does it go? My inclination is to say, you move it to the next day, or whenever it makes sense. And worst case scenario, you skip a week and you do it the next week. And okay, maybe your bathroom is a disaster and maybe the carpet really needs to be vacuumed, but you'll get to it the next week. It's not the end of the world. So I found that to be a con of kind of having everything piled into one day. At least if you're doing a different cleaning routine and you have your cleaning spread out, you know, a little bit each day, then it's not like missing 1 week of something brings the whole thing crashing down. But with the She system, if you miss your cleaning day, you, like I said, either have to fit it into another day that week somehow, or you are waiting till the next week, which, depending on how messy your house gets, might be a little scary. Another downside, and this is just fairly obvious, but it is an analog system, and so if something happens to your box, you don't have it recorded digitally anywhere. It's not backed up or stored anywhere, and it is all kind of everything in one box, so if you lose it or something happens, it's kind of sucks. But still, to me, and again, if you're someone who loves analog, I don't think that's a big enough deal to not do the system. In terms of monthly tasks, for me, now they do it differently in the book, but for me with monthly tasks, I put them all on purple cards. I have not yet incorporated monthly tasks into my weekly routine. These would be things like doing mending or washing the outside windows. That's 2 times per year. That's not a monthly, but touching up interior paint around the house, that's a yearly task. Switching out the kids' clothes, things they've grown out of and stuff, that's twice a year or every quarter, depending on how fast they're growing at the time. Dusting and touching up our baseboards, that is a monthly, that's a quarterly task. So these types of things I have not incorporated yet. Having 3 young kids, having a baby, I determined that I would start into this system and kind of ease my way in. So I would start with daily tasks to keep our household running, and then incorporate those weekly tasks and see how that was going, see how using the more structured meal plan was going, and all of that kind of stuff. And so to be perfectly honest, I have yet to incorporate the full where I'm doing the monthly tasks that I've set up, the quarterly, the yearly, those kinds of things. So once I get into those, it will be interesting to see how everything goes. But so far, I like this cleaning routine. I like this system. I'm going to keep using it. I have made it my own in a lot of ways, and I would encourage you with this routine, as with any cleaning routine, if there's something that's not working for you, just bend it, move it around, redo it to make it the way that you want it to be and that works for your family. I will link up the original video that I did on the Sidetracked Home Executives cleaning routine right here, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.